So, sitting around last night, I had a thought. Megyn Kelly is probably the only journalist or just person affiliated with Fox News that I can honestly say I believe is reliable or trustworthy. It's just anytime I go and watch Bill O'Reilly, I know there's something up or there's some type of agenda, and I feel that way, or I'm suspicious of that at least, for much of the channel. And I'm not really well versed on every single person that works there, but just the ones that have their own program or just something that you regularly see them on. You know, you have Outnumbered, and that's got its own little running gag of one guy and four women. You know, that doesn't necessarily make it biased, but when you have Tantaros talking about issues, he's always typically expressing opinions I don't agree with. And really, that's what kind of separates Megyn Kelly from the others, is that she doesn't necessarily convey her opinions on most issues. Which, you know, when you have to when you're a journalist, I always considered, if you tell a story or are trying to convey information, you do that first, and then I guess editorialize later, if that makes any sense. And I've never seen her, and I haven't watched every single night or anything, but I've seen enough. Try to make her point be the focal point of a story. The only time she's ever, to my knowledge, presented her own opinion of an issue was President Obama's, I guess, what she perceived as him not taking a stand on the Kate Steinle death last year, and sort of calling him out for not speaking on her death, but then speaking on Trayvon Martin's death and Michael Brown's death and other victims as well that were not Kate Steinle. That's the only time I've ever recalled her just giving her opinion on something or someone, or any time I've just seen something that, yeah, I know that's you. That's not the reporting. That's you doing it. And again, I could be wrong, and if I am, then oh well. You know, even then, I don't think it's to the effect of being prolific. When she did that, there were articles online. There were different levels of coverage. It probably was the only thing that she was covered for, barring I guess the purported feud she had with Trump, which I would say was one-sided and really didn't even need to happen, as I made several comments on it in a previous video a few months ago. But I'll get into that later. So all I'm getting at is I really appreciate her not going around and trying to put her spin on things when there are people who don't access the internet. They don't go online. They still watch TV the old-fashioned way to get their news. And I think she makes it easier for those people who aren't technologically advanced or inclined to use technology to find anything that is a current event. And again, that's good. This is very repetitious, and I'm aware of that. Now, on to that debacle with Trump. And again, I know that probably shouldn't have to do with this, but it really is just singing her praises is what I'm doing right now, because I can't imagine what it's like to work at Fox, a place where everybody is probably the opposite of fair and balanced, if not very close to it. And she actually seems to be fair and balanced. Now, you know, I'm not going to go and say, oh, you can watch her and not anybody else, but I'm purporting that there is no one else on there that comes as close to being, if not perfect, then close. But I'm bringing up the Trump incident as a way of highlighting her personal character, which you have to maintain a level of respect, become a public figure, and I think this really affected the way I viewed her. She did not reciprocate any of his arguments or feuds, and it was done in such a professional way. And I guess I didn't think much about this until now, since we were months and months away, and I kept thinking, oh, he's a joke candidate, and now as it becomes more serious, I just keep thinking about how much of a joke that was for him to go after her, and to really see her react in that way, or not react at all, I should say, was impressive to me at the end of the day, and not anything else that he had said or claimed of her. It was such a contrast, because you had him speaking about her in a childish way, talking about, I think we all remember the comments. I'd rather not state them here, because it's just not something I want to interject in this. But again, her reaction was just so mature compared to his. And there have been so many feuds and so many arguments by other types of celebrities and public figures. To just see her react that way was so refreshing, because she wasn't putting more fire in the flame. She wasn't perpetuating this conflict. She was making it one-sided. It was as if he was talking to himself whenever he was called on to speak about her or talk negatively about her. And I really liked that. I thought she did such a great job with having to defend herself. And she didn't even have to really defend herself. She just ignored it and it went away, pretty much. And I guess another reason for me bringing that up is she's apparently scheduled to reunite with him for the next debate on the 28th of this month. Today's the 18th, so that's in 10 days. And I'm going into it, and I really think that if he tries to start anything, she'll be ready for him. And I like people who have it's just something about her. She has this confidence that you don't see in other journalists or other people who are public figures in that manner. So if they're appearing on news shows, you had comments she made about Jesus and Santa being white, and those were a joke. I don't believe she seriously meant that. You've had the whole discussion about it, but again, it was one of those things where there's also a lightheartedness to where you can kind of round somebody out as a decent human being. It's just, in sort of seeing those comments and seeing how she reacted to Trump, it really gives you an idea, I think, of how I'm not going to purport to know her, but just public image wise, I think she's a nice person. And I think most of the potential criticisms that could be made of her, she's completely dissuaded. You can't go around and say, oh, she's a crybaby, she reacted to Trump talking about... You can't do that, because she didn't. You can't say she reacted negatively when people reacted negatively to her joking that Jesus and Santa were white, because she didn't do that. And there's obviously that the one standalone incident that I remember from last election, where I believe it was Karl Rove who called her, I guess, the prediction that Obama would be reelected to a second term out, and said, "Oh no, that's inconceivable. That can't be true." And she just told him, I don't know what kind of math you do in your head to make yourself feel good, but this is factual. This is what is being purported to us, and this looks to be correct. And it's another one of those confident type of actions that just really stick out to me. You're not backing down. You don't care what some Joe Smo on your show says about a poll or anything else. It's just a matter of fact. I mean, you've done the calculations. You don't care what this guy is. It's just this confidence that it goes along. And I'm bringing all this up and going kind of into personal traits and ways of handling things, just to basically say that she is very classy in the way she perpetuates her persona in public, at least. And when I see that, and then watch the Kelly File, she also exemplifies that on the program. So, really, what I'm getting at is there's no one on Fox. Bill O'Reilly, Tanteros, Faulkner, who sued the toy company for no reason other than using her name, which is what I'm not even going to get into that. There's no one else on that network who I am more competent in than her, than Megyn Kelly. And I honestly believe that she's the only one on there who can possibly transcend the negative image that Fox has. I think that's the only thing that holds her back from being considered a good journalist. There's this negative connotation based around Fox, and she's kind of, in a way, suffering from it, in a way not, because whether you agree with them or not, they gave her a show. So, in a way, I wouldn't be surprised if she's not inclined to leave them because they've done her a favor. But once again, there's no one else who they can use and that person be used in such a way that it makes Fox look good and it makes that person look good. When I watch her reporting on the Kelly File, I don't think about Fox News. I don't think about the Republicans. They're trying to make the Democrats and everybody else look bad. I don't think about that at all. I just watch the news and just feel as if the information being reported to me is accurate. I think that's really one of her good traits. Well, along with others, but that sticks out to me more than anything else. Thank you for watching.